My students only take one test at the end of the semester, at the end of their course. It's called an end of course test. And I think that's a necessary test, and that's the only test they receive. So in my opinion, at least in my classes, I don't think that they're over-tested. Testing, I think, is necessary because we have to have an assessment of how our schools and how our teachers are reaching their goals of teaching and educating students.
I believe that students are tested too frequently as far as state testing is concerned and high stakes testing. I think that it's important to test students' strengths, but it's also important to give students time to develop those strengths. And if we focus too much on the frequency of testing, we're not giving students enough time to grow in between tests. And teachers don't have enough time to really dig deep and get into the standards. We're always focusing on test prep versus student knowledge.
I believe students are over-tested. I think that the standardized testings that we have given them over the years has been a necessary evil, but I think we've taken it too far. I think we've got to the point now where students are no longer being tested on knowledge, but being tested on whether or not they can beat the test. They've gotten to the point where they're trying to game the system or try to raise their score by, well, this answer is A more times, or it may be C, and different things like that, where they're trying to come up with ways to trick the test and figure out the answer the test wants rather than judging whether or not they actually have the knowledge. There's too many gotcha questions, there's too many answers that may even be wrong. I think that we've gotten to the point where tests have almost been held as holy by our government. But the thing about it is, these things are fallible just as people are. They don't always give us a measurement of what's really there, and they don't take into account any other things that the student may be dealing with. They don't account for, did the student have a good breakfast that morning? Was there a fight at home that night? Did they have a safe place to sleep? Are they glad that they're here? Are they going through a tough situation at home? That doesn't take into account any of that. All it is numbers on a paper. And when we start putting so much stock into those things, we take the human equation completely out of it. And to me, the whole deal with school and the whole purpose of learning is to grow and to be more and to do more than we could before. And the testing, to me, just takes the heart and the soul out of learning.
Standardized tested, most definitely. If the state actually felt like there were value to it, I believe our seniors would be tested as well, but our seniors aren't tested. But every other grade level is tested. If there were, if there were valid points, it would be tied to graduation rate. I understand why we have testing, holding teachers accountable, making sure they're doing their job, making sure the kids grow. But the money behind what we spend and the time we spend teaching a test is detrimental to my kids. We have a lot of missed opportunities because we have to prepare for so many tests.
Yes, I think they are. Well, I think the standardized tests they test too much because at the end of the year, you have to quit what you're doing and working on that the whole time. So for a month probably, when you could be doing other stuff, getting them ready for the next grade.
I believe so, to a certain degree that I don't know if the tests, all the tests are true measurements of their achievement. I think there's some other ways we can do it, but right now, testing is the way to go. I guess we've had to adjust to that, but I think there are a lot of tests that they are having to deal with that it's hard to get all the material covered because you get testing days that take some days away from us, instructional wise. So that's probably one of my biggest criticisms is we don't have enough days to teach everything with interruptions and testing.